Okay, so we are now recording. So today I just felt compelled to talk to you all about the workflow of your office. And the reason why I feel so compelled to review this is because I have been just seeing out there on social media how some tax professionals are stating that they're still unsure how to actually run a virtual office. So I don't know if you all are still having those obstacles, being that you came under the training of Cosette, but I thought, let me just revisit it, especially since we have new credits, refundable credits in place. And it is very important that we as professionals ensure that we do our due diligence and we have sufficient backup. I
Mhm.
don't want anyone that's under my training to call me in 2 years, 3 years to say that they are being audited by the Internal Revenue Service because they failed to obtain proper documentation from their clients. Now, I know for a fact that I don't have anyone in this course or any of my classes that I have that feel the need to not follow the laws and the instructions and the protocol set up by these agencies and the Internal Revenue Service. You guys know the training that I went through last week was all about a refundable credit, meaning that taxpayers that are self-employed have an opportunity to recoup $15,110. I want you guys to know that that is true, that is factual, but I want to stress to you all that the government is not a non-profitable organization.
Mm.
They're not a organization. So they are not in the business of just dispersing, 15,000 to individuals that claim that they were impacted by the coronavirus by way of being sick or by way of taking care of a family member or by way of someone saying that they had a dependent. So I'm saying all this because it's right here heavy on my heart that I don't want anyone to get caught up with the IRS knocking on the door or sending them a notification in 2 years when they go for audit saying your office is being audited because um, you had a high number of Form 7202 and we need to audit 15 returns. And you're looking real dumb when you get that audit because you're wondering what the heck happened. Well, let me tell you what the heck happened. You, as a professional, did not do your due diligence up front. Therefore, they're knocking at your door to audit your files. And when the IRS comes to audit your files, you could find yourself out of business, you all. It's a serious matter, just like we say with the sorority, it's a serious matter. It is a serious matter. If the IRS deems that you have what they're going to pretty much say is that you've prepared fraudulent returns. And if they audit 15 returns, 20 returns, and they determine that 15 out of those 20 returns don't have sufficient backup, guess what? They're going to continue auditing all of the returns that have Form 7202 in your under your EIN. So it's best that you do the right thing up front and ask your clients for sufficient backup versus taking their word and not doing the due diligence. I am not in the business to make sure that I get everyone back a nice refund if it means losing my integrity, if it means that I am doing things unethical. I'm not in that business. And if you need to go down the street, I will refer you to the person down the street. If you choose to say, well, I was sick, or my kids were sick, or my spouse was sick, or someone. That's okay if you tell me, but I need you to provide me with a backup to support it. And if I don't have the backup to support it, then I cannot put that in my in your tax return. And you all have to be professional enough, woman enough, man enough to say, I cannot do that. I'm happy to assist you, and I would love to help you get the most that I possibly can on your return. But if we can work together, if you can provide me with the backup so that I have something in my files, should the IRS come knocking on my door, then we can work together and I can put it in my return. So we know that the IRS has extended the deadline to the 12th of February. So I need for you all to really take this time and evaluate the processes that are in your office. Evaluate if you have everything in order, because they're giving us this window of opportunity, because everybody don't have their W-2s. Everybody don't have all their tax forms. So they're giving us this window of opportunity to really get our stuff in order. That's what I need for you guys to take these next 2.5 weeks. I mean, you're still going to be doing returns, but you're not going to have that massive rush, because most people are aware that the date has been shifted. Not everyone is aware of it. I've been getting calls in here still, and not everyone is aware of the due date has shifted. So you guys need to be putting that message out in the universe to your clients, whether it's email, whether it is social media, a post, whether it is doing a Facebook Live, whatever the case may be. You all need to make sure that your clients are receiving this information, okay? Or prospects are receiving this information. So please, I beg you guys, please take this time to get your office in order. Make sure that you have the systems in place that you need to have in place right now. If that means practicing on your software, if that means practicing on how you're going to operate your business virtually, whatever that looks like, please get it down so that it's solid and that you don't have these obstacles when they start sending their documents in, saying I'm ready to get my appointment done. Because it's going to be more stressful on you. Take this time, start taking your vitamins. I gotta turn this off. Start taking your vitamins. Start, getting some extra rest, going to bed a little earlier at night. Don't stress yourself out during these next couple of weeks, because when it hits, you guys, it hits. It hits. And don't try to pace yourself, is what I'm about to say. Pace yourself. Don't try to rush through these returns. Slow down, read through them, understand what the question is, and I just need you guys to do your due diligence. I need for you to make sure you have good record keeping going on. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I did a live in one of my groups to say the same thing earlier, because I'm seeing too many posts about, what do I do? How do I go virtual? What do I send them? We've gone through the training, but now it's time to put it in action as to what I've trained you guys on. So I want to spend some time today making sure that you guys clearly understand what a workflow should look like, what a tax workflow should look like. From the time the client calls you and they're asking you questions on the phone about your pricing, to the time you send them the engagement letter, to the time the work starts. I also beg you guys, I beg each and every one of you to please stand in your power and do not allow clients to wiggle their way in with your pricing. I've been feeling, going through the calls the last couple of weeks. Guy yesterday asked me how much were my prices. And of course, I didn't know what it was because he hadn't communicated everything to me. But I basically said, well, most tax returns start at $495. So his rebuttal, I got to turn off this cell phone because it keeps flashing, or turn on do not disturb. So his rebuttal to me was, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. He said, how do you come up with your pricing? And I said, I charge by form. So whatever forms I prepare, that's how we come up with our pricing. I said, but I'm also charging for tax preparation services. And so his response to me was, well, I was just wondering because last year my actual refund was, I forgot the amount. He said 200 and something, but I paid 300 and something. And I was under the mindset that I should not have paid more than my refund. Now, you guys know I had to like bite my tongue before I responded. So I said, well, that wouldn't make sense. I said, you're actually paying us for a service. You are actually paying us to prepare your income tax return. So we don't base our fees based upon what your refund is.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Your refund was $15,000 and we charged you $1,500. Would that be right? Or would you think that you were paying too much? And his comeback was, well, I was just asking the question for my wife so that I can explain it to her because she think that, we should be paying just what we get in our refund. I said, well, if I got a refund back from somebody from a higher amount, are they going to pay me that? He's like, well, I just want to be able to explain it to her. And I said, well, no problem. I said, but you are paying for services. You are paying for services. So whatever price you all have in the system, or whatever price you have, if you don't have your prices in the system, I need and I ask you guys to please stand in your power and don't allow your clients to, price beat you, so to speak. If your price is 600, it's 600. And the other thing, I need for you all to learn how to articulate what your price is without saying this. Well, I normally charge 700, but because you did this, I'll go ahead and charge you 650, or I'll charge you 625. No. So what's the price? The price for preparing your return, the price for making sure that we've captured all of the credits and all of the deductions, and for making sure that we go through a thorough audit, the price for that will be $695 or $700, whatever the price may be. You want to convey that the price is just not $695, $700 just because. Convey to the customer, to the client, why the price is that. Your price is, well, Courtney, in preparing your return, we made sure that we applied all of the all of the credits. We went through to make sure that we got all the refunds. We verified, we went through our audit check. We have a second team member in the office that reviews all the returns to ensure that we've captured everything. And in addition, we compared your 2019 return to your 2020 return just to verify that there were no errors and omissions that we noticed in the 2019 return. So with all that being said, and if you have a savings, also we were able to save you, $15,100 by taking this credit. We were able to save you $2,000 with the child tax credit. We were able to, save you X amount of dollars by using the itemized deductions versus the standard deductions. So with that being said, your fee today for us doing the income tax return is $700. That sounds a lot more appetizing, a lot more, I could chew that a little better than just saying, oh, it's $700. The person who is real tight on their funds and really don't understand the value of what we do will be like, you say $700 and they're gonna be like, a pause, right, is gonna come. Like, so do you take, how can I pay you? You know, that's what's gonna come next. You're gonna hear that hesitation in their voice. And you all have to learn to be good listeners and not talkers. And when you listen to your clients and you hear and you can sense, you know, something's not right, that'll give you an opportunity to prepare how you want to respond. But I need for you guys to listen. Don't be in the mode of ready to react. If you listen very clearly without any thought, without any, you know, sometimes we listening, but we're wondering how I'm going to respond. Listen, take a deep breath, and then respond. Let's keep our emotions out of it. And let's always remember, no matter what, clients are always correct. Even if you guys find that you calculated something incorrect, you maybe transposed a number and a social security number or something, and someone's going off on you, just listen and then respond. Listen and respond. But hopefully you listen, and before you respond, like we did 2 audit checks, we did this, we did that, you know, hopefully you have, you know, self-checked. But I'm real serious. Like when I say throughout the day, I kept thinking, should I say something to you all or not? It's just been weighing very heavy right here because I've been seeing so many posts on social media about the new tax preparers asking what I would probably say is a silly question, but I have to put myself in the shoes of others that says, you were once there, so it's not a silly question. And if you see the question multiple times, then that means that the new tax preparers all are experiencing or feeling the same way. So, you know, we've thrown a lot out at you all with these new credits, you know, the look back credit, the recovery rebate credit, the 7202 form. There's also some more credits that are out there for the 7202 is for the self-employed, but you also have to remember that there is still credits out there for our corporations and our organizations that the payroll credit, you know, where employers did not take the credit throughout the year and in hopes of recouping it on the tax return. So there's a lot of things out there that are probably jacking some of the new preparers up in the head. Sorry to say it like that, but it's probably jacking them up in the head. You know, I had someone reach out to me a couple of hours ago. She was giving me a recap where she was and where she stood. And in one sentence, it said, is there anything else that you think I should be spending my time on? My exact words to her were, you need to practice on mock tax returns, and you need to ensure that your office has the policies and procedures set up so that when you start bringing on clients, you're ready to go. Courtney and Regina, the other thing I need for you guys to please make sure, as far as policies, please ensure that you have a pricing policy in place. Please make sure, even though we've given out engagement letters, when we take that money from our client, when we swipe their credit card, I need for you guys to, gosh, where did all these come from? I need for you both to ensure that you have a policy in place in regards to your pricing policy, your refund policy. What does it state? What's the policy if they're unsatisfied with the services that you've rendered?
What do you have something like that? Do we? I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna give you your money back. I never thought about that.
Well, I never thought it either, Courtney, but I'm everything I speak about is I've been through it. So
Yeah.
recently I've had 2 people do chargebacks. And thank God, thank God, thank God. I'm very detailed when it comes to record keeping. I kept all the records that I really needed. And on one of them, the chargeback I won in my favor. And then this same person did another chargeback on yesterday for something else that she bought from me. So when it came through the first time, 2 different charges, the credit company asked me what was my my policy for cancellations, what was my policy for accepting credit cards. So what it has forced me to do is make sure that I put the correct verbiage. Let me see something. One second. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I know where it's at. Wait a minute. 1 second, guys. I know where it's at. Mm. 1 second. Victoria. I think this is it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you too. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. So I created this so that moving forward, whenever I do a credit card charge for whatever, if it's a monthly reoccurring, I'll have everyone sign this. But the key that I want to share with you all is, let me see if it'll, let me go to the next page. Okay. All right, so this says, My Financial Home Enterprises General Refund and Return Policy. All sales are final on coaching or consulting, digital product purchases, and live events. There are no refunds, and you are responsible for making all payments in your agreement of purchase, whether you complete the program or not. By placing your order, you are indicating your agreement to the terms of this offer. If you purchase a physical product and are not satisfied with the product, you may return it in a resellable condition within 30 days from your order for a refund less a restocking fee of $50. After 30 days, no refunds will be granted, but you may apply the balance minus the minus shipping of $50 and an admin fee as a credit towards a future product, event, or service in the next 12 months from the date of purchase. Any deposits made are non-refundable, but may be used within 12 months on a product, consulting, or live event. Payment plans. If you opted into a payment plan, it was offered to you as a courtesy. You are responsible for making all payments in your agreement of purchase, whether you complete the program or not. Scheduled payments are attempted on a due date per agreement. Should your payment processing be unsuccessful on the first attempt, My Financial Home will attempt to process the scheduled payment every day until a successful payment. Any payment that declines and is not resolved in a 4-day time frame will incur a $50 collection fee for each month the balance goes uncollected. Please initial indicating your understanding of our terms and conditions of this payment. So, as you all can see, yes, this was geared towards more service, products, but I still need for you guys to have something for services. Most of the time, let me stop sharing. You will, don't get me wrong, you will encounter clients who are going to say, well, first of all, that's why you get your money up front. And once you get your money up front, it's kind of what they're going to say. Like but you all know we have folks out there who will say, I wasn't happy, and just all of a sudden go do a chargeback with their merchant, with their bank, and think that, oh, they're not going to notice it, or they're not going to do anything, or they don't have the backup. So just have them sign. I don't care what you have them sign. Number one, they've already signed the engagement. And the engagement letter pretty much states, we are doing the work. We're doing the work based upon what you provided us. There's no promise of the outcome. You guys can't, what gets me is clients will come to you with this misconception that, oh, I'm getting $3,000 back. I got $3,000 back last year. I'm gonna get the same amount this year, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. And then, you're the bearer of bad news, and you're like, well, you owe $1,200. What? How come I owe? Well, last year the person, hold up. I'm just the messenger, buddy. I am just the messenger. I can only put in what you give me. Well, you know what? Just give me back my stuff. I'm going down the street. And when can I get my refund? Well, unfortunately, I can't give you a refund because you paid for a service. You see how calm I'm talking? I want to go off. Unfortunately, you paid for a service and I did do the work. Hell no, or I go back and forth with an email. And you keep those emails because you did the work. A lot of times they go away, but you're gonna have that one that's just gonna fight you to the end. And so if you have the backup, you did the work. You have proof that you did the tax return. At this point, I'm not trying to save face. I'm not. I don't care, because the client has got very indignant with me, and I will not even give them a portion back. No, I'm not giving you anything back. I'm not giving you anything back. I don't care at that point. I'm not worried about them putting something on Google. I'm not worried about any of that because I've stood my ground. And I do realize that I can't please everybody. I cannot please everybody, but I try my hardest to, but I know that I can't. So I say all this to you guys as we head into this season, that be calm, get some rest, take your vitamins, have a policy that you can share, you can display. People are going to ask you, well, can I get a copy of your price list? I don't publicize that. That's not, yeah. That's all I can really say about that. Just, if you know that you've done the right thing, If you have your licenses all, you know, they want to check, they want to complain, let them do it. Let them do it. But just do your due diligence on every level, okay? On every level. So let me go through this flow chart because I'm really serious about it. And you guys can just be honest with me, like who's struggling on the flow of how the work should go?
I have a I wouldn't say I'm struggling with the workflow, but I am
Courtney,
curious
you got
about
your
the.
eyebrows done.
I
And
just
you got
filled
on
them in
lashes.
today.
Wait a minute.
They look good too. They
Oh,
like,
Thank you.
mm.
I normally don't fill them in, but when my hair looks crazy, I feel like I gotta do my eyebrows.
oh my goodness.
Mhm, they
So
look good.
thank you, y'all. So I have an S corp that I have to do, and I'm excited about it because she found me through this like a registration of. I'm on a website. I'm in like a library of colored accountants type of thing.
Mhm.
And so she's a white woman, and she was like, I just really want to, be more intentional about supporting, women and women of color. So anyway, she has a S corp, and this is the first time I'm doing like a business return under my company. Anyway, I've done S corps before, so I am kind of nervous about that. But I'm guessing like what should be the lead time? I know if they have all their stuff together, I'm just trying to figure out how long should it take from the time we get off the phone. I send you all the stuff, you send me everything, and now okay, the lead time starts. How long should it take before I'm delivering your return? And I know that can vary, and I don't have the excuse of like, oh, I'm a big public accounting firm, so I have a lot. I'm backed up. I don't have that excuse. So, any idea how long I should take?
I still, on my corporate returns, I'm gonna say I abuse the system, so to speak. And what I mean by that is I never give my corporate clients, a turnaround time because they don't know how many returns I'm processing in the office. And I can get them done really. Courtney, it depends on how neat the work comes in, how organized the client sends their stuff in.
Yeah, I looked at her QuickBooks, like took a look, like just kind of scanned them. Because she gave me access to her QuickBooks, and everything looks pretty good. There's not like a bunch of stuff in Ask My Accountant. There's like one or two uncategorized expenses, but nothing major that looks crazy. I have to do some. What's that?
Technically, I mean, I did accounting, so technically, and I think I shared this with. I think I was talking to you. No, I wasn't. I was talking to another client. Those corporate returns are really easy. It's answering some yes no questions and really putting some expenses into a sheet and doing the balance sheet.
Yeah, entering the return is a breeze. I'm a little bit more nervous about getting the journal entries right, making sure she's got like some payables and stuff. I want to make sure I get all that stuff right.
So it sounds like you're doing accounting and taxes.
Yes. So I have to do a little bit of, I would imagine I have to do some write-up work. Not a lot, but I want to, I haven't gotten her return from last year yet, but I want to take a look at that because I want to make sure, you have to do tax adjusting entries. Like she paid federal taxes. So that's on her expenses. So I know I have to take certain things out like that, like adjusting for meals and entertainment, just a few things, not anything major, but
the software does that.
Well, for the payables, yeah, but what about like federal?
For the meals and stuff like that? The software for the corporate returns, it won't allow you to take it at 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry. There are some there's a line item that will and won't. So you don't have to go through and do an adjustment in the system because those are truly true expenses.
Right. I guess what I'm used to doing is like when I was in the firm, I would do like, if I were to do a small corporate return, the first thing we would do would take the trial balance and then adjust it and do a tax trial balance. And then that way I'll know what my check total is for net income. Like what is my tax net income, even if it's just a small $50 adjustment or whatever. I just want to have that as like a reference and not be trying to do it in my head of like, does this look right? Because I know she has a very small meals and expense account, and then like some federal taxes, some payroll taxes, which I think the payroll taxes are deductible, but I know she had some other like federal taxes. And then I was looking at the payables and I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I'm going to have to like do an adjustment for the accruals. I don't know. I feel like I
What
will.
kind of business is this?
A
Is
consulting.
she on an accrual basis? Is she on cash or accrual?
She gave me, that's why I want to wait to see her return, because she gave me the reports on accrual, but I think that's because QuickBooks just defaults to accrual and people they don't know the difference.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So I think her tax return is probably on a cash basis. So I just need to see it. When I was looking at her GL though, I did see an adjusted entry. And it was like for January 1. So she did, I guess, record entries that maybe her CPA from the prior year told her, hey, go ahead and record these entries. And it was for an accrual.
So then that would tell you that she's on an accrual basis.
Yeah,
but
probably.
I mean, for the most part, most small businesses are on a cash basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you can ask her that question, and then looking at when you look at the TV, that'll tell you if there's been some what is kicking me out. That'll tell you if what's kicking me out. Whatever I'm on is kicking me out. Okay. That'll tell you if she's on an accrual basis if you see adjusting journal entries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't imagine it would be a lot of work. So I didn't even factor it into my pricing, really. I was just thinking like, okay, my S Corp return, it's a single member LLC. She's going to file as an S Corp. I'm going to start at $875. That was what I quoted her for that type of return. And then I had another person who had inquired. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I told them
$875. I'm just asking.
I got that I just got that from the price sheet that I got from you. I just went through and I was like, yep, that feels good. That feels about right. I know
I
she
gotta ask you a question though, but did you take into consideration the state piece?
Yes, I was thinking that was for both.
Okay.
Do you charge more than that?
Now I do. $14.95.
Now, do you charge by each state or do you charge
no?
Because I was thinking she's just in Virginia, just in one state, but I'm thinking like going forward, if I have clients that have business in multiple states, I wonder.
Oh yeah, if you have them in multiple states, because you got to do multiple returns for each state.
Yeah. So I would need to come up with a state price.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because like in California, we have to do another return for our LLCs.
Yeah, I know. I hate California returns. I shy away from those.
Yeah. I gave you, well, I go up. I do supply and demand. At this point, it's like, because I can't bring in all the work. So I've raised my prices.
And you know what? I could tell it was probably too low because she didn't bat an eyelash at all.
Yeah.
Her previous CPA is retiring, and that's why she was trying to find a new CPA. She just wants to build a relationship with one, wanted it to be a woman, someone, diverse. So I could tell that, okay, that price is not something that scares her at all.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is over the years, she's going to be somebody that's grandfathered in and she stay with you at that price. Because if you go to $14.95 from $8, whatever you told her, that's going to be a sticker price for her, and she's going to be like, what happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I almost don't mind exchanging, not to say I want to start low. That's not it. I definitely will go up, especially because, I'm finding that maybe that is a little low. That was the first time I quoted something like that. And I don't have a feel yet for how much work goes into this type of return, just because it varies so much from the type of business they do and how clean their books are. But I definitely am probably going to go up, but I don't mind if I get someone in and they are loyal and they're going to stay with me year after year and retaining them. If I keep them at a lower price, I don't mind doing that, as long as it's not a lot of them. I can't have them be the makeup of my business.
Right. Don't charge based upon your time. Just keep it a flat rate. If it takes you 2 hours to do hers, or 1 hour to do hers, and then 5 hours to do somebody else, the time is You train.
Yeah, I have it based on the form, like you were saying, like you gave me that sheet with all the forms. And so I have it based on that. But as far as like write up work, if I have to go in and clean someone's QuickBooks up and stuff, for that, I was thinking I should do that hourly.
Okay, so do you have in your engagement letter that the fee is just for tax preparation fee? Any additional services such as bookkeeping, audit work, etc., is additional fee?
Yes, I do have that in my actual engagement letter.
Okay,
And I feel like that's something that I also want to make sure I verbalize to people
yes,
when I take them
yes,
in.
yes. Because what I've noticed over the years is that um, sometimes people send me shoebox stuff. Like this lady today, she moved from Oxnard and she moved to Mississippi. And I said, well, let me send you a sheet in the mail because she don't do email, an organizer, so that you don't send me that big box. Now, when the big box come in here and I invoice, I do not care. There's a tax preparation role and there's an accounting role
Mm-hmm.
because I had to do some bookkeeping work. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to pay that fee for both year over year, keep sending the box and I'm gonna keep going up on that accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't care. They'd be like, just I don't want nothing to do with it. You got it, you do it, and you've been doing it. I trust you. Okay. So
Yeah, I really don't want to deal with the shoebox stuff. I really don't, but I know that that's just going to be how some clients are going to be at first, at least. I mean, there are people who come to me who are like, "Oh, I haven't filed a return since 2017," and I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I supposed to do with that?"
the other thing that I am seeing now that I'm 100% virtual is I'm seeing resentment from some of my clients, still insisting that because I said paperwork can be dropped off from 2:30 to 4, I'm just seeing people saying, oh, I'll drop my stuff off. And I'm pushing back like, did you, this is my rebuttal. Did you see the email that I sent with the instructions on how to upload? You know, I'm trying to say it nicely, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, did you get the email that I sent on how to upload? You might want to try that first. It really works. You know, so
Yeah.
I even had she's 26, I think. She said, I'm gonna be dropping off my stuff. Is there any preferred day? And I said, it might be better for you to just upload. I would prefer that you upload. I don't want to see any clients. I could
Yeah.
say that to her because I felt, but the other ones, they just like, I want to drop my
Even
stuff off.
even with COVID, it seems like it'd be so much easier to use that as an excuse. But I had the same exact thing happen with a consultation a couple weeks ago. I know that it's COVID, but my mom would really like appreciate a face-to-face meeting, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, you guys, this is ridiculous.
So
And
hey, do that face to face on Zoom.
we ended up, you know what happened? We ended up doing the meeting face to face on January 1st. And I didn't know this. I wore my mask. He wore his mask. His mom did not have on a mask. And I had a COVID exposure. She ended up testing positive. And I feel like she could have got, I mean, she was not super young, but she's not an old lady, but she's older, and what if that would have gone terrible? I exposed her. I mean, it wasn't my fault. I didn't want to meet in person. I suggested that we do it virtually, and I didn't even know that I had been exposed. I didn't find out until a couple of days later when I had symptoms. So it's really not safe. It really is. This is for real.
So you have to tell them. I keep hearing an echo. You have to tell them that out of respect for not only myself, but for my other clients, but also for my family members. I have a son and daughter that reside here, so I have to respect them as well. That's all I say. No,
Yeah.
no means no.
Yeah. So no, going forward, now that I've given someone COVID, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely gonna say no. I can't, for health reasons. I can't meet in person. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bottom line, people have to respect our wishes, and if not,
Dangerous.
and I asked myself, am I going to lose clients this year? And I said, I probably will because I will turn some people away. But I said, I know that I will gain some as well. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So, um, so Regina, I didn't get any feedback from you. Are you okay with the workflow? I know you've been on everything that I teach, so you probably have been through it a number of times, but you're okay with it?
Yeah, I've just been watching the videos a lot. I'm
Mhm.
just kind of nervous about and listening to Courtney talk. I was even more nervous sitting here listening to her talk about this accounting. I want to incorporate accounting, but I'm just so nervous about that.
Courtney's a CPA, so don't let her scare you.
Well, she didn't scare the mess out of me over here. I'm like, oh.
I saw you start taking notes when she was saying it. I said, oh, she done got underneath Regina's skin. I saw you start taking notes. It's not that bad. A lot of times, Regina, when not all, some clients come to you and they haven't been under the direction of an accountant or a CPA, and their stuff may be all over the place. But here's the thing. Courtney got the experience to do the adjusting journals, etc. Again, it is not your responsibility as a tax preparer to do those journal entries and whatnot. Courtney's taking on additional services. When the client comes to you, they are providing you with accurate information. As a preparer, you don't have the title of CPA accountant. You are a tax preparer. And I'm just saying as a preparer, I'm not saying as an industry, as in a CPA or anything, but you are taking information as you receive it. And if it is factual, true, accurate information, then you're okay to key that in the return. Now, if the conversation is something different, like, well, I don't have my books in order and I need you to get my books in order, that's another conversation. That's where the accounting comes into play. So, no shade in what I'm about to say, you know, I'm a straight shooter. That's the problem that I have as a career accountant that has new people coming into the industry that's like, oh, I'm an accountant. But they don't have a lick of accounting skills. But they gonna fake it till they make it and mess up somebody's return. So
can I just interject real quick and speak on that? I was gonna say, just to like add to that, I don't, even as a CPA with experience working in public accounting, if someone came to me right now and said, hey, I got this, you know, big multi-million-dollar construction company, and you know, we have international income and this and this, I know I'm not the accountant for that. I know I'm not the CPA for that. I don't have the structure. I don't have the experience to lead that type of project by myself. I'm going to say no. So I think that it's important to know your strengths. It's okay to just be a tax preparer if that's what you are. If you don't have the experience doing the journal entries and all that, then honestly, I don't think that if I had a company, I don't think that I would go to someone who doesn't have accounting experience for that. I think that you're going to be getting people who are in the right fit for what you do. I don't think that you'll even have to worry about it, honestly. But just say no if you feel like, okay, I don't know about that.
But here's the thing also, that goes to messaging, the message that you have out in your, that you're putting out there in your marketing. If your message states accounting, like I advertise that I do accounting because I do accounting and tax. Courtney, I don't think you advertise tax. You just advertise accounting.
Probably so, more so than anything else. Yeah. I'm trying to talk about tax a little bit more now, just because not all accountants do tax, and I want to make it more clear. But I do think my overall messaging is more accounting focused.
Right. So believe it or not, and I've said this before, you probably would have more tax clients come your way if you solicited and your messaging talked more about taxes. But Courtney is a CPA, certified public accountant. And so I think you shared with me that you don't have the experience in general ledger.
No, I don't have the experience in audit.
Oh,
so I can do like I understand managerial and reporting and all that. I've never performed an audit before. So if someone came to me and wanted me to do that, I'd be like, oh, I don't know how to do that.
So with all that being said, Regina, is you've been focusing on taxes, taxes, taxes. I don't think that you're going to get the corporate people just yet. When your messaging begins to start talking about depreciation and makers and SEP and 5500s and things like that, which you probably like, what's 5500? That's a retirement plan, tax return. But when you start having those types of conversations out there on social media, then that's who's going to come into your world. You know, because a VP of an organization or a director of payroll or director of human resources, they should know what a 5500 is. You know, that's a 401k tax return,
Okay.
an annual tax return.
Okay.
So you're not going to get
Courtney
those.
was about to have me about to fall off my seat. I was like, I don't know what she talking about. It's making me nervous.
But I'm gonna say a big but. If you start saying that you do bookkeeping, those are things that you have to take into consideration.
Okay.
But that's when you outsource.
Okay.
Because the person that you've outsourced should know all of that.
Okay. Okay.
So,
but I do feel confident in I did only 2 videos this week. I'm gonna do one today, but I didn't do one yesterday. I got a little bit busy. Or did I do one yesterday? No, I didn't do one yesterday. I think the day before. But I feel confident in my video messaging and stuff because I've been getting like feedback from people, like even, you know, because I've been doing it from the business page, which I don't have very many people on the business page at all, but I'm trying to do it from that page to get people to get over there to get the information. But I've had 3 inbox inquiries, so from people that I don't know. So people are listening and watching, so I feel confident there. But Courtney was about to have me pass out over here.
do you take the video from your business page and put it on your personal page?
I just share it.
Okay. Okay, well then it seems like you guys are okay with the workflow. I just kept seeing too many messages out there on social media about workflow, and I'm like, but I honestly believe that what I was seeing was, I think a lot of people just signed up to do taxes and didn't take classes.
Mm.
And so now they are looking for help. They didn't want to pay at the time, but now they see it's not as easy as they thought it was going to be. So I believe that. So next week, because I did not do it this week, I promise I'm gonna do something on the look back credit. I know what it's all about, but I want to do something so that you guys are, you know,
Thank you.
feel easy about doing them. I mean, I've done the reading. I just need to do some charts so that you guys can really understand. Okay. And Courtney, you will, all of us will have look back.
Okay.
Which credit is that? Is that look back for
The look back provision for EITC.
EITC? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to read up on that then, because I don't know much about that.
It is a form in the tax software, but it's basically, I think we touched on it last week briefly, but just think about a lot of people were on unemployment this year, and so they don't have earned wages. They have, what do you call it? Unemployment.
So they get to use some of their, they get to look back and use some of their wages from the prior year?
They get
of basically like what they would have had?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't helped a ton of people who qualify for that. So it's not even like at the top of my mind, but I don't want to act like it's never going to happen because, you know, I definitely will have some people who have it too.
Well, you may have someone that was unemployed.
Oh, I definitely will have that.
So then they probably will have well, if that's the case, Courtney, they're not gonna have anything to look back on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If they like I haven't helped a lot of people who meet that criteria. Some of them have had low enough income, but they didn't have any dependents. You have to have dependents, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, so it hasn't been something that I found. And honestly, I haven't used any of the opportunity to take the refund out of your return yet either. So I just haven't had that be the case with most of in most situations, people have either gotten back a small refund or they've owed. But
Wait. You've been doing returns for this year already?
no, last year.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I wish. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't. We'll see. I don't know what this year. I haven't been talking to people who are in that. Like, I'm really going after returns that are going to be at least like $500, $400 type of returns. At least I don't want to really. My base rate is $350, and that's literally like if you have one W-2. And I know that I don't know how other people feel about that, but I just don't really want to be bothered to do a return for less than that. Do you think that's a fair amount?
I think that's fair because you think about that's federal and state.
Yeah. I think
My guy said he used to pay before he started coming to me, and it's 4 years. Yeah, he said he was paying like 286 with one W-2.
yeah. So I know that it's not the lowest, but that's not really my goal either. So I don't really mind that it's not the lowest.
Once again, you got to sell value to them. What comes with that?
Yeah. So my focus is to go after 1,000, 800, 900, type of returns. That's what I'm focused on. Because it's not like I get to do this all day long. I still do have to work. So I'm limited in how many I'll be able to do. So I want to make sure they're higher dollar.
Okay.
I have a question. In another class, you told us to encourage them to use the bank products,
Mm-hmm.
meaning what?
That was in the tax training, the software training.
Okay. How I don't understand. If they have to pay up front, and we haven't done the return yet, how do we know that they're going to get money back in order to use the bank product?
Okay, so let's just have a conversation. You're a client, I'm the tax preparer. So you've come to me. I do a lot of things like just filling people out without them knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've come to me and I'm sitting here looking through your documents or even virtual. So did you get a refund last year? How did everything go with your refund last year? I just start asking some filler questions. All right. Do you have any tax liabilities right now? Do you owe the IRS? And if they're a client of mine, I already know. Do you owe the IRS? They don't. I know why I'm asking these questions. And if they be like, well, God, and then I'll say, well, let's call the IRS right now because there's a number that you can call to see if someone has an offset already in place. So you just call that number and see. Now, as far as collecting money up front, Regina, sometimes you're not going to physically collect, the money up front, like the dollar or the check or whatever, the credit card. In this case, some clients will come to you and say, I want my fees deducted from my refund. You've already kind of filled them out and asked them questions. If they say anything that slightly leads you to believe that they're going to have an offset, then you tell them that. You just be upfront. Based on what you said, they're not going to deduct the funds from your refund. Or if they do, it's not going to be enough to pay me. Bottom line. But you will, after a while, you will know who to put through and who not. Not everybody has their refund check garnished or held. Not everybody. But you will know the shenanigan stuff that comes through. And I hate to really say it, but you just get a vibe for, you got to go with your intuition. You'll know like who's playing games with you. And so if they opt to have the refund deducted from the check, the refund check, it works. You transmit you fill out all the paperwork. You transmit the file. When you see everybody looking on the IRS as to where's my refund, you will know like, oh, Courtney is getting her refund tomorrow, so I'm going to get paid in 2 days. So when Courtney gets her money, and I think I explained this part, when we set up Courtney's refund to have the tax preparer's fee come out, it goes to the bank. Once it hits the bank is responsible for dispersing Courtney's check and dispersing your fees. That's why there's a bank fee involved. When people say, well, why am I charging so much? Why are they charging so much? Or why are you charging so much? I always explain, my fee is this. The bank's fee is this. You requested to have your tax preparation fee deducted from your refund. So there's a fee that the bank will charge to issue me my fee and to issue you your check.
Mhm.
So we transmit, how it works, we transmit to a transmission center,
Mhm.
which is the software. The transmission center sends all returns to the Internal Revenue Service. Internal Revenue Service gets it, processes it, they get it, they acknowledge they have it, and then that's when you see, where's my refund? It'll say accepted, date accepted. Once the IRS starts working on it, it gets to a certain phase, it'll come with expect your refund on February 12th.
Mhm.
Once February 12th hits, they issue, well, a couple of days before the 12th, they issue the money to the bank, but you don't know that. It
Mhm.
just says your money will hit your account on the 12th. So they send it to the bank, allowing the bank probably a certain window of time to process it and disperse it so that it hits your account on the 12th. Now, the bank will process it in enough time such that, oh, we did what we were supposed to do so that it hits your account on the 12th. But if it bounces for some reason, you will not necessarily know that it bounced on the 12th. Well, you will as a taxpayer because you're looking for your money. But I won't necessarily know, but the bank will know because they've already gotten a report on the 12th that the ACH rejected. And it could have rejected because of a wrong account number or wrong routing number. It could have, those are the main reasons for the rejection.
Mhm.
And then you will know, not you per se, but I will know because I will get bank reports the next day and it'll tell me the reason why it rejected. It'll say, print the check in the office pretty much.
Oh, mhm.
So when your clients are complaining about Regina's fee is 400, then the bank's fee is 125 and they paying 525. Well, how come it went up? Well, you requested to have your tax preparation fees deducted from your check. There is a fee that's involved in that.
Mhm.
And that fee does not come to me. I let them know. That doesn't come to me. That goes straight to the bank. That's a processing fee.
Okay.
Which bank are you using? Are you using TPG? Is that what you? Okay.
I've never been with any other bank. Never. So, is this your second year with them or your first year?
I used EPS last year, but I never actually got to use it, so I can't even say what their service is like, honestly.
Mhm. So with TPG, also when you do have a situation whereby a client's tax preparation fees do not come out for whatever reason, they put it in what they call a collection status, and they will attempt to continue to collect on those funds,
Mm.
even if it's in small increments till you get paid as the tax preparer. But you have to sign up for that service.
Okay.
And there are times when it happens and you call them and some of them make good on it, some of them drag their feet and got every excuse in the world. So that's that. I don't know if you heard me, Courtney, but I said it seems like you guys have the workflow down, so I'm not gonna pull it up and go through it. So But hopefully this has been insightful for you all. I really want to see you guys be successful. I really want to see you do well, and I don't want you to have any obstacles, unnecessary obstacles that hit you in the face as a result of not doing your due diligence and not taking this time serious to make sure that you have policies in place for your organizations. If you have the policies in place, if you slow down and not rush through the tax returns, and if you put thorough notes in the file, it will save you a headache 2-3 years down the road. Because the last thing you want is to build a successful tax firm and then 2-3 years down the road, you have to shut down because you're being hit with all of these fines as a result of doing something that you should not have done in tax year 2021. Okay.
To make our,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, to make our policies and procedures thing, is that like just something we could just Google, or is it Google a specific one and take verbiage from whatever we need to make it, or like what?
There's no special one. I would just, I'm not an attorney, as you know, and a lot of people would say go to an attorney or a legal or paralegal, whomever, and have them review your documents. I think you're safe with going out on the internet and Googling, a policy. And if it sounds right, if it fits your business, then implement it.
Okay.
You may have to tweak it, but just implement it. When you're seeing people face to face, sometimes they look for where's my business license or what's my pricing policy. I don't pull out no pricing policy for none of my clients.
Okay.
I feel like that's putting your back against the wall, because if they see the pricing, then they'll be like, next year they have something to say, like, well, last year I saw on the pricing list,
Mhm.
So I don't do all that. I just, mm-mm.
That's funny, like at the nail shop, they had the prices up there.
Well, they have to, because they're dealing with some aggressive Black women. You know us.
Well, mine don't never be the same when I go.
What you say?
I said mine half the time don't never be the same when I go. It'd be one price this time, the other price another time. I'll be like, just do the feet.
They
Just
want
do
to charge you 50 cents for your debit card, $1 or this.
Mhm.
yeah.
No, they don't never be the same. So
I do have one question.
yes.
Do you have a particular software that you use for like client documents, for like storing when they sign things like the engagement letter, when they send over, if they do have, like if it's a corporation and you do have to do any type of accounting work, but maybe they're not in QuickBooks or something like that? I kind of like a binder, like an electronic binder. Do you have anything like that you use, or excuse me, do you just use Google Drive?
I don't use Google. I'm not a Google person, but people always send Google to me.
Oh.
Last year I used Taxaroo. This year I use Onboardable. Onboardable.
And they Onboardable has all of the client documents.
It has the organizer. It has the engagement letter. It has everything that you need. Billing is in there.
Because I use Dubsado, which I really, really have been loving it, but there isn't really a place for me to store documents.
Oh,
It's not really like that type of, unless I just haven't found that yet.
you can
I
store
don't
it.
think.
You can store by, well, in there by year is not. I didn't say that right. You can store in there, but they don't have it set up just yet where you can do it by year.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have to play around with some of the features then. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that you do when you're done with a client? You did the return. What do you just send, like a thank you note and call it a day?
I do send thank you notes. I don't know where they're at, but I do send thank you notes. And yeah, we do. I think that's important. I like getting thank you notes.
Me too. I think I'm
Mhm.
gonna make design some on Canva and order them on cardstock just so they're a little nicer this year.
Yep. I love getting thank you notes. So that's one thing that I'm gonna implement for this program. And it's funny, I just scanned some today, designs that I wanted to implement thank you notes when people sign up for the program.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know. I love thank you notes. But that's one of my love languages, the 5 love languages, words of affirmation.
Mine too.
I
Yeah.
don't care about all the gifts and stuff. Just,
I like gifts too, though.
that's not even my second one. My second one is acts of, is it
Acts of
acts?
service.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, that's one of mine too. I need
yeah,
help. Go start my car for me. Like do all of those things. It makes a difference.
yep.
Yeah.
Those other 3, they're on there, but those are my 2. And I think, and I'm often reminded, they call me Paris Hilton at home. They said because Paris Hilton is always wanting someone to wait on her. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you go do this? That's me.
Yep, me too.
The flow that you were going to show us, was that a screen share?
It was, and I'm gonna actually I'll send it to you another way, Regina. You have it in video.
Oh, okay.
You've gone through it at least 3 times.
You know what? You've given me so much, and I'm new, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep using that new excuse, but you have thrown so much my way, and it's all new to me. So, I'm just trying to take it all in. Takes me a minute.
1 second, because I only know because I came across it today when I had to send something to the merchant in regards to this chick, which I don't even use that word. Hmm. So I'm gonna resend this video to you because it's in this video that I went through tax trainings, tax software training day number 4.
Okay,
I'm gonna resend the video because it's in here.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, can you guys hear me? I was just talking.
We heard you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I said okay and thank you.
Oh, okay. And I'll resend the flow chart that way because you will want it posted or somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ladies. Well, go ahead and enjoy the rest of this evening, this new day, new beginning, January 20th. Mark it on your calendar. Our first African American VP.
Yes.
So Januaries are starting to shape up because January 26th is Kobe Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I hope they're
It's my
respectful.
daughter's birthday, so I will always remember that day.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the 12th year to my mother's passing, so I never forget because it was always the day before the inauguration.
Oh.
I try to be busy on that day.
Mm.
I was gonna post, but then I was like, no, I can't post about it. So I just always remember in my head though.
Then we got Dr. King's birthday this month. So a lot in January. So, all right, ladies, well, have a successful week. Make sure you get some rest as well as do some work. Just practice. And Regina, my best advice is to just get into time-wise, tax-wise. I don't know what time-wise. Tax-wise,
Practicing.
just practice. I think you'll feel a lot easier once you get through some returns in the software. And once that real one comes, it'll alleviate some of the headache that you're going to have.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna practice.
Okay. All right, ladies. Well, have a great week, okay?
You
Okay,
too.
thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.